How you doing, YouTube? Below 96 here, and so I noticed my Remington 597 takedown video got pretty kind of popular, and people were liking it. So I wanted to do one on the Marlin 795. And first off, has been safety checked, nothing in it, no magazine. All right, so just make sure your bolt is forward. I'm just going to get right into it. I don't want to blab on this one like I did last time. So start off, you got two takedown bolts, one in the front right here. I noticed a friend of mine has the same rifle, and his has a smaller screw in the front. It's actually the same size as the one that would be on the back that fits it flush. So, but mine's got this big fat one. I don't know why it would be different, but I believe it's all the same, just they used a different screw on this one for some reason. So it doesn't really matter. So just take those out, just a flathead. And that's the only tool you're going to need for this rifle. Just a flathead screwdriver. And then once you got those two out, pull off your trigger guard, and the trigger comes out with it. Put that aside. And then you can take off your stock. Stock just comes right off. Put that aside. And then on the back side, I don't know if you can see it, it's got a pin that goes through. It's just a plastic pin. Just push it through from the right side of the rifle out the left. Put that aside. And then lift up on the back and pull back. Comes right out. Get your full action right there. Put that aside. And then to remove the bolt, there's just pull back on it slightly and lift up. So pull back and lift up, and the charging handle comes out. And then you can lift up and pull it out. And you have your recoil spring assembly with the pin. There's a little nipple on the back of it which fits into a small hole right on the back right there. There's a small hole in there. That's for when you're putting it back together. You got to make sure the recoil spring, the guide rod fits in that hole. So, and that's fully disassembled. You've got your bolt, spring, guide rod, your action, and trigger guard with the trigger. So let's put her back together. Put your guide rod and spring back together. There's a small hole in the back of the bolt, and that's where the spring goes in. And then this is the hardest part right here, getting the spring to compress down into the bolt. So just push it all the way in, drop the bolt down, and the bolt's in. So just try to make sure, be very careful not to kink the spring, because then you'll have a bent spring and it won't work right. But once you've got that, you can see the charging handle is notched. So it's having the receiver sitting upside down. It's going to go in with the flat part down. So pull back on the bolt, lift up, slide the charging handle in there, and just drop it on top. And the charging handle's in. And I think I got it in a little, not quite far enough. There we go. So charging handle's back in. And it will have a little bit of a gap. That's to leave room for the extractor. So don't worry if it looks like it has a gap there and it's not all the way in, but it actually is. It's just leaving room for the extractor there. Okay, then your action, you're gonna have the front end is notched. And that's gonna slide underneath this pin. So you're just gonna put it under the pin. Drop it down into the action. Take your takedown pin, put it in the same way it came out, and your action's in place. Next, take your stock, drop that on top, or on the bottom actually, since we've got the rifle underneath. There we go. Then your trigger guard, it's got a slot where the bolt release slides into, and then just once you got that in, slide it underneath the mag release, push it down, put your takedown screws back in. Don't drop the screwdriver like I just did, and tighten her down. Not too tight, just snug. Now, of course, I forgot to bring the magazine with me, and this does have a magazine disconnect, so I can't pull the trigger. But I believe if I can get my hand in there, I can release. And no, that one's not it. It's the other side. Okay, I'm not quite sure which one it was. Well, since I don't have the magazine with me, I can't show you that it is working. So, but that's completely assembled. I can't dry fire since I left the magazine inside, but even though you really shouldn't, but it should work just right if you did it just the way I did that there. So I hope that helps. You guys have a good day.